I've got to connect all of these edges and then configure all of these API connections. It's such a mess. In this video, I'm going to show you how to generate a complete AI agent with a single prompt inside ChatGPT. It's very useful for coming up with an initial AI agent version. The hardest part when building an AI agent isn't the actual idea. It's stitching together all the bits and pieces, connecting arrows, writing all the prompts, making sure all the parameters and connection strings for the tools are correct, and the list goes on. It is so cumbersome, but it can be much simpler. With this single prompt, you can generate a complete AI agent in ChatGPT that gives you the complete JSON file that's ready to import directly into Retell. But this method can be applied to any other tool that supports import-export of JSON files, such as Retell, VoiceFlow, or N8N. It's like vibe coding, but for AI agents. So in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to walk you through all the steps you need to train ChatGPT to output a complete AI voice agent using Retell as an example. We will go through the following steps. We will first brainstorm the AI agent steps in ChatGPT, where we will see what's required for the final AI agent to answer tenant calls. Then we will take that and generate a database schema in Airtable. Airtable has its own AI agent. After that, we will train ChatGPT to generate AI agents. This is the interesting part, where we will feed it our specification and it will output the complete JSON file that we can readily import into Retell. The next step is to take the generated AI JSON file, import it into Retell, and refine this agent, meaning having a look if all the prompts are correct, connect with our system, the database in Airtable, and the calendar booking tool. And finally, we will test run this agent, calling it and chatting with it to see if everything makes sense. This video assumes you're already familiar with Retell, but if not, there is a link here that you can click for a beginner-friendly intro. Plus, I'm sharing the complete prompt of this AI agent that was used to generate the JSON file, including all of the links for the tools in the description below. This video is part of a 30 AI agents in 30 days challenge. So subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the new agents coming out. Are you ready? Let's get started with brainstorming the agent in ChatGPT. So we will start with a new prompt that I have edited here in my file. And basically what I want in this case, I want an AI agent for property management that answers common questions to tenants. Okay, so I have this template prompt that I will adapt now, designing an AI voice agent for property managers. I'm saying that it answers common questions for tenants and logs a call log. Your role, you're a conversation designer for AI voice agents that is also knowledgeable of backend system infrastructure used in implementing these agents, okay? Because I wanted to also generate the Airtable table. You'll help me design a voice agent implemented in Retool that uses a database to serve as the property management company's call log system stored in Airtable. The AI agent's goal. So remember, this is a prompt that asks the AI to generate the flows of the AI agent. So this is the first step, but it's not the final prompt. This will come when we generate the JSON file with a specific other prompt. So the agent will also respond based on the property manager's internal documents via RAG system. This is important here. The AI agent will save a summary of the caller's issue in a ticket in their call log system, Airtable, for quality assurance purposes and to collect the most important questions that tenants ask. Okay, the infrastructure. The AI agent will have access to an Airtable tool that accesses its API. You'll help me with brainstorming a simple database schema that can serve as the call logging system for the property manager and help me implement the database. This is the part where it will generate a prompt that I can then input into Airtable. Coming up with just one table should be enough. And then it should generate some documents that we will feed into the RAG database so that the agent bases its knowledge on it. So I say, okay, generate a few documents. I'll say that I want HTML files with CSS styling that basically I can use to generate PDFs and then upload into the RAG system. Then I will say, okay, these are professionally formatted. Now, this is the important part, the conversation flow, where it will help me build a property management front desk agent that answers calls as described above. And it will help me with the conversation flow script, questions such as making payments, selling their home, what's the policy, the rules of the homeowner association. And then I ask it, what other questions do these people usually have, homeowners and tenants? And then it will come up with a system prompt, and it should come up with 2 possible scenarios that it should demo to a possible prospect for this agent. And then it advises them as described above. Now, the output format can be both technical when necessary, because I work with Airtable, so I'm flexible. I know how to build my own backend, make sure it's correct and double check it. This is important that the LLM basically checks it. We will work with GPT-5, which is the newest model. And in this case, it's very well suited for agentic tasks. It means it can output something and then it will check if it's correct, and then make references to API calls at the required places and so on. And the operation mode, if it's not sure of something, it will ask, and it will include the stuff that I haven't thought of. And now I can copy this prompt straight into ChatGPT, and then I'll let it compute it. So it says, thinking for longer for a better answer. This is the new mode of ChatGPT 5, where it knows when it should go into agentic mode and when it should basically answer short answers. So it's all 3 models in one: reasoning, short answers, and omni mode, like generating images, for example. Now you can see that it started to generate all the stuff and to think about it. As we can see, it generated the answer. So it tells me exactly what it'll create. It thought for 1 minute and 18 seconds. It shows me the whole chain of thought here, which is pretty interesting. Now let's see what it produced. So it produced a Airtable schema, polished HTML, knowledge base, practical conversation flow, production rating system prompt, 2 fully written demo scenarios. These will be used in a bit to generate a JSON file. Let's have a look at the minimal Airtable schema, which is 1 table, which is fine. So what I can do here now is I just copy this, and this is super interesting. I just copy this. Why 1 table? It's enough for a convincing demo. That's okay. We can generate as many as we want. If we go to production, this is not a problem. Then we go to Airtable and click create, build your own app. And then here I will basically quickly change the name. And then here we basically paste this table and give it some more context. We'll just prompt it and say, this is a schema that serves for a property manager's call management and quality assurance. I want you to generate this table and then populate it with plausible test data to demo it. So now the Airtable AI is thinking, and it's basically generating this table schema, which is super interesting because it removes the hassle of me actually going and clicking onto all these fields and configuring them and so on. You see, it's super interesting. Determine tables and fields, generating new tables and fields. Now it has finished generating the schema. As we can see here, we have all these columns, and now it's generating the records, right? So it says, it's been created. Now it's creating the records. So these test data that I asked it to generate, super nice. So we can see here, we have everything that we need now. We have all these records. This is demo data, and it generated the correct types for the respective columns, key questions, for example, is there a timeline for fixing a leaking faucet, and so on. So we can see that it generated the right things, and we can use this, and we can also generate an API for it, which is very interesting, which we can do here. Generate API documentation, and we need this to connect the AI agent to this table such that once we call the property management AI, it will log a ticket here. I mean, it's not a ticket, it's a call log, so I can see, this is the resolution status and consent to callback. So for example, I can ask them, were you happy with this feedback? Were you happy with the info that I gave you? Short summary, very interesting. So here I can basically see the topic that this was all about. We can see this in the key questions. Is there a timeline for fixing a leaky faucet? When is the next HOA payment due? So here, for example, when I'm a property manager, I can see what are the most asked questions so that I maybe can include them on my website or in my onboarding email for the new tenants and so on, or for the homeowners, right? Once this is done, we continue here with our prompt, and it gives me all sorts of technical information, and it gives me the HTML documents that I can use, and I can just quickly put them into a file. so that I can generate PDFs out of them. Okay, so I quickly open up a HTML file, doc1 pm HTML. So I can just come here to this, easily copy it, paste it. Okay, I do so with document 2. So I just quickly copy paste it. And then the same with document 3. I copy paste the data here. Okay, and then I can see it inside my browser. So I go Brave, I open them all up, and it's pretty interesting because here I can now generate PDFs out of this. Okay, so we have the homeowner association rules and community standards, then we have payments and account guide, and the maintenance and emergencies, how these are solved. Okay, so now I just click print, save as PDF. Okay, saved all of them. I can include them later into the RAG of the AI agent. Now let's continue. Here's the conversation flow with API touch points. Let's see if this makes sense. It has an answer and try it step, the first one. We can see that it needs to be prompted to create different states of the conversation, because here, for example, in the system prompt, it includes all of the tool calls right away. But this is too difficult because the LLM, it will hallucinate. So I will need to tell it that it should have each step separately, and that it should include the API calls on the respective state. So I'm telling it to make some changes, that it should leave out the details about the exact API calls, because I have access to the documentation of both Cal and Airtable. So in this sense, Airtable, it should just use pseudocode references as annotations, and that it should split up the system prompt, because I will go with Retell's multi-prompt agent. Okay, so this is basically the prompt agent that we see here that uses one state for each of the different stages of the conversation. Okay, now it recreates these details that I will use later to generate prompt. I mean the AI agent in the other prompt. And this is very interesting because here it creates very nice prompts for each of these states. You can imagine this as being a separate complete prompt at each stage, okay? So let's see if this makes sense now. The Airtable schema is the same. It's lightweight, humor readable, and easy to extend. Okay, very nice. And now we can see the global system prompt. It kept the essence of the original system prompt, which is here. Voice and style, safety, and so on. Let's see if it makes sense. Collect essential details. Ask them to summarize it. Always confirm. Stay professional. Subprompts, the greeting. So these are the broad categories, okay? The greeting, clarify and categorize, answer with RAG tool, wrap up and log, and then the 2 demo scenario. I want to check how I can pay my rent. Okay. Hi, my kitchen sink is leaking. Okay, perfect. A prompt that I've created in the API, which is this one. And what I did with it is basically I fed it the JSON file of a already existing agent, and then I will also feed it the API schema, which is the object schema here, right? So these are 2 different things. So it contains the JSON files of 2 past agents. Okay, agent 1, the complete JSON file here, and then it has a second agent, as we see here, agent 2, the complete JSON schema, and this is enough to generate a new AI agent. And now here I will copy this output here. I'll just say, okay, copy, and I will paste it here. I will just delete the last part and the first part, which is just some instructions. So it goes straight into building it, into the specification, submit. And now it's generating the JSON file for the new AI agent that I can just upload into Retell. Now you don't have to write any of this down. I will share the link to all these prompts in the link in the description below. So make sure you click it so you can copy these prompts directly into your ChatGPT to get started right away. So you can get started with generating AI agents out of prompts alone, which saves a massive amount of time. This is the output it generated. Now let's copy this into a file and see if it works. So I'm going to copy the whole thing, open up a new file and call it. Now I can upload this directly into Retell, import. Now let's have a look at how this looks like. PM front desk call logger, this is the name that it has. Now let's have a look at the tree. Okay, interesting. So it has 5 states. Let's see if it makes sense. The greeting, you're at the start of the call, politely introduce yourself. Makes sense. Once this is done, it has the edge transition once the call has started there, an issue and a request. So that we will copy this here because it makes the transition easier. From experience, clarify the problem, listen carefully. Okay, let's see the transition here, And here it basically extracted some data, which is the category, which is good. So this is a variable that the LLM will be able to use later on. Answer with RAG. Okay, this is good. So here we will connect a RAG in a second. Let's see what the transition condition is. Good. So we will copy this here again. Okay, good. Now here it has the connection to Airtable, but it doesn't have the connection string, which we will do from the API. So here we have the consultations table, basically, and then we will copy this string here, which is the connection, which is the information of the Airtable base. So we'll paste this here, and then here we will add our API key. All good. The documents look good. This was the string that I modified earlier. And then let's see what's the transition condition. It's here. I will copy this here, and then the edge is end call. So basically this tool that it will use to end the call, politely close conversation. Okay, let's save it. Let's go to the system prompt. Let's see if it's okay. You're an AI voice agent, goals, do this, do that, remain polite, make sense, do not fabricate answers, have a look at the knowledge base, keep calm, read phone numbers digit by digit. Okay, looking good. And now I will create a new knowledge base where I will upload these PDFs that I have saved earlier. So I create a new base, property management, information answering, and I will add the documents here. I'll upload them. Okay, perfect. These are the 3 documents that I have generated earlier. Perfect. Now I can refresh this page. And now in the knowledge base, I will say add, and it appears here. Perfect. Okay, let's see. AI speaks first. Let's give it a name as well. Let's call her Jessie. And the property management company is called Next Property Managers Limited. Let's pick a nice voice. Let's pick a British accent.
Ready to navigate challenges.
Yeah, sounds good. Use this voice. The model will be GPT-4.1 mini. And now we can, okay, let's select a message. Hi, you've reached Next Property Managers Limited. This is Jessie from the lettings department. How can I assist you today? Perfect. Now everything looks fine. Let's give it a test run with the chat. Everything looked good over here. So I checked all the API connections, all the tools. Now let's see what's happening. Hey, you've reached Next Property Management. This is Jessie. How can I help you today? Now I will put this table below so it's easy to follow up with any changes that happen here. And here again are the documents that the RAG is based on. So this is the training of the LLM. Now let's say we want to ask it something to prove the case. So let's ask them, for example, visitor parking. Okay, let's ask it a question about EV charging. Hi Jessie, how's the EV charging? How are the EV charging rules? And now you will see it has checked the tool. So basically it saw it's a greeting, okay, all good. And then it transitioned once the caller has stated their issue. Perfect. Clarify it. Listen carefully to the caller's question. So transition once the issue has been clarified and category. No, this is the first one. Transition once the caller has stated their issue. So I did. So this is what happened. Now I'm in stage 2, which is clarify and categorize, which we see here. Clarify and categorize, and we also see the tool invocation here. It's transition to clarify and categorize, which looks good. Then it's check the knowledge base, so I can see what exactly from the knowledge base, let me make it full screen, has it used here. This one. Okay, perfect. So it says, thank you. The community rules specify that electronic vehicles charging should be done only at the designated AV charging stations. Are you a homeowner or tenant? If you need information about access to these stations? Okay. So basically it answered it correctly. Use the designated stations only. Let's ask it another question. When are the renovation work hours? When are the allowed renovation work hours? And again, it transitioned to answer with RAG, which is good. So here we can see we have a bit of a duplicate. So these two states could be merged into one, right? Because both this one and this one can be answered with RAG. And RAG isn't like a tool like these tools that you see here, for example, that you can connect the LLM to. It's, let's say, always there, right? Once you configure the RAG in Retell, it's always there. Now, basically, these two can be combined, clarify and categorize and answer with RAG. But probably the point here is that instead of one state here below, probably you could have another state like this and transition here in case you have a different type of question, or you want to log a ticket, or you want to escalate this, or you want to be redirected to a human or something. So this is the idea of the clarify and categorize state. Okay. Now the thing here is that this is meant to be just like a prototype, like a starting point, right? Just as tools like Cursor or any other coding agents generate just a raw skeleton of your app or just a rough prototype, so is this, right? So it's not a running thing. It's not a completely functional agent that you would put into production right away. You have to test it. You have to play with it, as you saw now. So for example, answer with RAG, and these two could be the same thing, could be merged. Now let's continue with the chat. Okay, renovation is allowed Monday through Saturday. Okay, no loud work submit on Sundays. Does it make sense? Yes, perfect, very correct. Do you have any specific renovation in mind, or do you need information? Okay, then let's continue and let's ask it something else. Let's say, for example, the quiet hours, it got it correct. Parking times, pets, leashes required in common areas. Let's say, okay, I've got a friend with a dog coming over this weekend. Anything I should pay attention to? And now it should again pull the RAG, which is there for visitors with pets. Know that community allows maximum of 2 domestic pets per household. Perfect. Required to clean up. Registration 7 days of move-in. Your friend is visiting this weekend. Ensure the pet is leashed and cleaned up. Perfect. Does the friend need any specific information? Okay, very nice. So we see the RAG works. Now here at this stage, it asks me, okay, please can I have the name and the property address, and I'll say, I'm Robert Hangu, living in 234 Maple Grove. Thanks, Robert. Could you provide your phone number? Okay. +44, and it says okay, confirm, yes. So now it should log it, and we see it here. It logged a new entry that I can maximize to have a look. So it basically saved my phone number, it saved my address, the urgency is low, and this is the key question. So this is basically the part that is important. What are the EV charging rules, and what do I have to know before charging? And then the answer that it gave me, and then basically a short summary. So now the property manager can come to this table and see, okay, this is what I have asked, and they can come back to me if I have any other questions. And basically we saw that it worked well. The agent did what it should. So in essence, what the takeaway here is that you can generate this AI agent with an LLM. So just to quickly recap, we went over a high-level design with ChatGPT, and then we went into a specific prompt where I prompted the system with some past JSON files for Retell. And then I gave it this answer from the high-level prompt, and it generated a JSON file that contained all these states that I see over here together with the prompts at each state and together with the system prompt. And all I had to do was to just create a knowledge base here and get started right away. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more tools, more updates, and more AI agents, subscribe to my channel. I'm also doing a 30 agents in 30 days challenge. There's a link in the description below. And if you want to see the whole prompts, everything that I did so far, there's also a link in the description below, so you can get started right away and hit the ground running with creating your own AI agent automatically. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.